Stay tuned for another bombastic episode of Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents.
Sponsored in part by Emeritus Variable Life Insurance Company, providing variable life and variable annuities since 1983. Emeritus Variable Life is a unified company.
If your investments aren't performing the way you expect, chances are neither is your agent. At Kensington Financial, we know the most important part of financial service is service itself. As a local independent, our commitment to customer service starts and ends with your needs, not the needs of your broker. For a no-obligation review, call Kensington Financial today. Unlike your current advisor, we'll call you back. Kensington Financial, your planning partner.
Welcome to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. As you know, our show is about how to grow your finances and make your future strong. I'm Ralph Phillips. My lovely co-host, Ms. Amy Tattern, is a little under the weather today, so I'm going to run solo. Amy, get well soon. It's great to be here in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. As one of the focuses of our show is traveling around and spending time in the AK Valley, we wanted to do something a little bit different and extend our reach to visit some friends here in Flood City. We love to seek out AK Valley residents who are making a mark in industry no matter where they are. Today we are honored to be spending some time in the beautiful Holiday Inn in downtown Johnstown with a person who is very special to me, my brother Sam Phillips. There's nothing more important than family. Sam is the general manager here, and he and his staff have gone the extra mile to not only allow us to produce the show here, but also to help us in scouting out some great locations that work with our themes of personal and small business economic development. In fact, that's what today's show is all about. Joining me for an in-depth discussion about business funding options and the Small Business Administration is Lower Borough resident David Miller, who is a Senior Vice President with Enterprise Bank in Allison Park. Dave, welcome to Dollars and Cents.
Thanks, Ralph. Great to be here.
Thanks. Today's show will lay the groundwork for our viewers to take that great idea for a business and get it off the ground, and show those of us with existing businesses what we need to know to greatly expand them. But before we get started, we need to break for a quick commercial message. Folks, we'll be right back, so please don't go anywhere.
Don't wait until it's too late. Burglar, fire, hold-up, and medical alarms for your home, commercial, or industrial needs. Signalgraph Security is a local company that can provide you with the security and service you want. Signalgraph Security will custom design a system for your home or business at a reasonable price and provide you with prompt service when you need it most. At Signalgraph Security, you talk to the same people every time. So for all your security needs, and to save at least 10%, call Signalgraph Security, where your security is our concern.
During Ladle's Kitchen, I am here to show you how to make marvelous soups for your family, great entrees, desserts, and even some appetizers. But my other love is decorating. As you can see, many of these items were purchased at Ladle's Country Cupboard, just a few steps away. Visit Ladle's Country Cupboard to pick up an item for your home or for your kitchen. Thank you.
Welcome back to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. Again, joining me is Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank. I wanted to ask you a little bit about yourself and about Enterprise Bank. Could you tell us?
Yeah. Well, as you mentioned, I'm a lifelong AK Valley resident, but only been a banker actually for close to 3 years now. Spent most of my prior life and career actually with the SBA, with the Small Business Administration, working with the banks that I now compete against for small business loans. So I've kind of been on both sides of the fence as a kind of consultant to small business and now as a banker.
Wow. Enterprise Bank has a really interesting history. Mm-hmm. It certainly is not like any any other banking institution I've ever seen or heard about. Could you give us a little bit of the history?
We're 100% small business oriented, so we don't do the traditional mortgage loans and car loans that most traditional banks do. Everything we've done is geared and focused at small business. The founders of the bank and the board members of the bank have seen a niche in small business banking where some of the more traditional banks might fall down because they don't have the level of experience in dealing with small business that we do in Enterprise.
What are some of the special services that you offer to small businesses? And I know that Enterprise Bank is closer to Pittsburgh.
Right.
Do you offer those services in the Alley-Kiskey Valley?
Yeah, we've done some unique things with the concept of being a service-oriented bank. First of all, we've established a concept where the relationship manager, the lender that deals with the small business, has a financial interest in the success or failure of that business. Myself and the other lenders in the bank actually take a personal financial stake in the businesses that we lend to. The reason that's important is because we profit as the business profits, and we take the same risks to some degree that the small business owner does of failure, and will work very diligently to keep businesses out of trouble, and if they get into trouble, to work them back out.
That seems like an incredibly non-traditional, very left of center way to work with your clients.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
The concept was, let's design something where myself as the banker has empathy for the ups and downs of business that the owner deals with. We've supplemented that with some unique services in lieu of having bricks and mortar locations around southwestern PA. We actually have a mobile branch service, which is a van fleet that goes and picks up customers' deposits and does banking at their office. The sales pitch, so to speak, is how often have you rushed out of your office to try to make it to the bank before closing, or a valuable employee takes time from his or her project that he or she's working on to go to the bank. We bring the bank to you.
That's incredibly convenient.
Yeah.
What kind of a relationship does Enterprise Bank have with the Small Business Administration? And I guess really the first question should be, what is the SBA? What's the difference between the SBA and a bank, and are they in competition? Do they work together?
Well, the first thing is the SBA, the Small Business Administration, which is oftentimes confused with the Small Business Association, which is a trade organization, is actually a federal government agency. And, you know, most of the time I always used to make the joke when I was with SBA, you know, government programs and business friendly usually don't go together in the same sentence, but the SBA is one of those taxpayer funded programs. Yours and I, tax dollars are used to supplement the SBA's funding, and they do a number of different things for small business. On the business development side and counseling side, on the financing side, and even helping businesses get a share of government contracts and government procurement.
As a small business owner in Western Pennsylvania, or someone who may be in our audience who wants to start a small business in Western Pennsylvania, what do I need to know about the process of securing funding through the SBA? Does the SBA provide grants or loans? Do I go directly to them? Do I need to get a number? Do I call you?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, the SBA has kind of migrated in recent years to an organization that leverages its assistance through the private sector, essentially banks.
Okay.
You can the simplest way to think about the SBA and what it does on the financing side for small businesses is it's a reinsurance program for banks, essentially. You, as a small business owner, would apply to a bank for financing, and first criteria is you have to be considered a good credit risk for the bank, but a lot of very good small businesses that are good credit risks don't fit the conventional parameters that a bank may have.
For example, what would some of those parameters be?
Service-based business, which does not have a lot of traditional hard assets as collateral that a bank would like to see. Technology businesses that are in new or emerging types of businesses where banks don't have a track record. The startups, where essentially the loan decisions being made on the business plan and the character of the small business owner. Those are all scenarios where there may be very good credit risks available to banks, but there's a weakness in a certain area, collateral type of business. The bank can go to SBA essentially for an insurance policy for a percentage of that loan.
Interesting. Folks, we're going to take a break right here for just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back with Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank, so don't go anywhere.
Sponsored in part by Emeritus Variable Life Insurance Company, providing variable life and variable annuities since 1983. Emeritus Variable Life is a unified company.
At Kensington Financial, we pride ourselves on not only putting together the appropriate long-term plan for you, but also, and almost more importantly, on making sure that we execute that plan appropriately over the long term. Once we've done that, there's plenty of time for you to go out and enjoy the finer things in life, like a phenomenal meal and a great bottle of wine.
Welcome to Harrigan's Cafe and Wine Deck. Tonight joining me is my co-host Ralph Phillips.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Ralph. And General Manager, Mr. Samuel Phillips. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Sam, can you explain to us this beautiful dish that we're going to dine on tonight?
We have a wonderful veal chop, and it's braised in wild mushrooms and a pomegranate gastrique. That is something of an acidic pomegranate sauce. We're going to be pairing a lovely Vine Cliff Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. It is a 2002 vintage, very highly rated, and the reason why I paired this wine was because the smokiness will go with bacon that's in the dish, and it has a lot of earthiness that will pair very well with the mushrooms, and the acidity of the pomegranates will not overpower the wine. So it's a nice full-bodied wine, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy it.
The standard and the quality of the food and the wine that we see here is just phenomenal. So Sam, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for joining us.
Folks, we'll be right back, so please stay tuned for a little bit more Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents.
There is a bank that makes a great addition to any small business or a great beginning for any entrepreneur, a bank that's focused on building a personal relationship with you. Enterprise Bank employs highly professional relationship managers with a vested interest in helping your business grow. They themselves are small business entrepreneurs who can empathize with the challenges of growing a small business. For your business needs, count on Enterprise Bank, the bank that is built for your business.
Welcome back to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. Again, joining me today is Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank. Could you tell us a little bit more about exactly what a business plan is, maybe what a marketing plan is, and what some of the other requirements are?
Sure. Well, there is somewhat of a difference between financing for a new business versus expansion funding for an existing business. Obviously, an existing business is going to have an established track record that the bank can look at in terms of its financial statements and that type of information. But for a startup, for a new business, the business plan is kind of the critical piece or the critical element in what a bank's going to look for in financing a new business. Your business plan is going to show or explain things to the bank like the background and experience of the owner and whether he or she has the relevant background to work within that particular type of business. It's going to include projections, financial projections as to what the business is anticipated to do in terms of generating income.
Is that called a pro forma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Projections are pro forma. And again, most banks, myself personally, don't necessarily pay as close of attention to the numbers themselves as to the assumptions behind the numbers. In other words, does the basis for what the business is expected to do financially make sense for the industry, the location, the other peer-type businesses that particular new business might be competing against? So that business plan is going to be because we don't have much else to look at when we're just getting started in funding a new project or a new business is going to be critical.
Okay. What are some of the other requirements that you might have before we could take the next step and go to the SBA?
Well, I always kind of preface the list of everything a bank looks for in financing to remind people banking is among the most highly regulated industries we have in this country. So there is a lot of papering of the file, so to speak. We're looking for things like the personal financial statement of the owner, not just the business plan for the business, their historical tax returns, their credit reports, their resumes. And then there's a lot of other ancillary documents associated with the organization of the business. If you're forming a corporation, articles of incorporation, registration with the state, all those types of documents.
Do you feel that incorporating a new business as an S Corp, a C Corp, a limited liability corporation, or even doing something like a partnership,
right?
Do you feel that those are necessary requirements when you're starting a business?
They are helpful from a liability protection standpoint with regards to protecting you against liabilities your business might have with regards to lawsuits or customer-type litigation. But with regard to financing, it's somewhat of a non-issue because most of the banks in this market, particularly when a business is starting, is going to require the owner to personally sign or co-sign or guarantee that financing anyway.
Okay. Who do I need to contact to get this ball rolling? Someone at the banks? You?
Yeah, usually in terms of small business financing, again, assuming that we've got a business plan put together and we've dotted our I's and crossed our T's, it's always good before you step into a bank looking for a small business loan to do some research on what banks are active in small business lending, what banks are preferred lenders, which is a designation that the SBA gives to banks. And the best way to do that, I always tell people, is talk to other businesses in your community. Find out who they're banking with. Are they happy with that relationship? The one area of banking that does significantly vary from institution to institution is how they handle small business financing. A car loan is a car loan, a mortgage is a mortgage, but a small business loan is very unique for every particular business. So it's always good to do a little bit of research on who is making an impact in small business lending locally. And the best way to do that is talk to other successful business people.
Beautiful. Folks, we're going to take a quick break here, but we'll be right back with Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank.
Tired of struggling with uncomfortable, frustrating hearing aids? Are you ready to experience natural sound again? Well, Vivatone is your answer, a revolutionary new hearing aid that gives you the natural sound without the whistling and echo and noise that you're used to. And unlike many other traditional hearing aids, Vivatone doesn't require the creation of ear molds. To feel the immediate difference, visit Remetta Audiology for a no-obligation trial and ask about saving 20% on Vivatone.
Got a great idea for a new TV show, but don't know the right direction? There's a local studio that can show you the way. AKLC Studios in Arnold is a professional company that can provide you with an experienced production team with the skills to see your project through at a price that you can afford. AKLC Studios can also fulfill any and all of your other video production needs. Contact them today to get professional quality at hometown prices.
Welcome back to Kensington Financial's Dollars and Cents. We're here with my good friend Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank, and we're talking a little bit about the Small Business Administration and funding existing and new businesses. Ray in Vandergrift, Pennsylvania, sent us an email, and he wanted to know if there is a benefit or what the benefits are to using an SBA loan versus a traditional bank loan.
Yeah. Well, in addition to obviously the bank's purposes for using an SBA loan, which is obviously risk mitigation, there are advantages to the small business owner of having an SBA loan. SBA, with its guarantee, will traditionally allow banks to provide longer repayment terms repayment periods than a conventional loan. What that means to the small business owner is lower monthly payments, which is critical, particularly for a new business who's going to obviously have those growing pains associated with getting started. The other thing that SBA provides as a great benefit is it often allows business owners to get into business and get their financing with less of a down payment or an equity requirement than what most traditional banks would require. The SBA can use strengths in other areas of the business or the business plan to mitigate a lower down payment than what a bank would traditionally require.
Great. Ray, thanks a lot for that great question. Is a credit history something that we can go back and check on a regular basis? And do you have any suggestions as to how often we go back and take a look at our credit history?
Yeah, I always suggest that all individuals actually look at their credit history and their credit report at least once a year, if not more frequently. Identity theft has even increased the number of reasons why you should be looking at your credit. But credit is one of those unique things that you don't change overnight. And if there are issues on your credit report that are going to hurt your ability to get financing for your business, you need to start working on those very early in the process. So oftentimes, pulling a credit report far in advance of going to a bank for a small business loan is a wise decision.
Okay. Dave, you and I have had an opportunity to do some work in the past together. From the standpoint of your working knowledge of myself and other people who are financial advisors, what are some of the ways in which we can help our viewers who are thinking about starting a small business or who run a small business now? What are some of the things that we can do to help in the process that you're going to be working on?
Well, we always suggest, or I always suggest, a small business owner should surround themselves with a team of professionals. The accountant, the attorney, the banker, and the financial advisor. One of the most important things in capitalizing a small business is that equity piece that I talked about, and that takes some professional expertise to help people save intelligently for starting a small business. And then once they're in business, ensuring that they've got, benefits programs set up for employees, that they've got a mechanism to get a return on idle money that they're not using in their business. So it's one of those critical pieces of that team we like to see around a business, that they've got a good financial advisor working with them.
Folks, we pride ourselves at Kensington Financial on having the ability to bring all the right people to the table, no matter what the situation is. And that's something that we are incredibly proud of. So if you should have questions about the Small Business Administration, some of the funding options that are available, how you can have access to your credit report, especially about how you need to go about building a business plan, I hope that you won't hesitate to give us a call at 724-334-1950 or drop us an email at questions@kensingtonfinancial.com. David, one last question before we close out the show today. What can we do to help existing business owners either secure additional funding to expand the bricks and mortar, or maybe to branch off in a completely different direction? What can you do to help those kinds of folks out?
Well, from a bank's perspective, obviously we're there when we need to be with the money to expand. But getting back to the SBA, as we talked about, there's a lot of resources the SBA has that are really applicable to existing businesses. A lot of people think about the SBA as just being there when you get started. But as you grow and expand, or if you get into difficulties, the SBA's got several programs that can help. The one primary program that I like to refer existing business people to is the SCORE program. And the government's famous for using acronyms, but SCORE is Service Corps of Retired Executives.
Okay.
These are retired or semi-retired men and women who have been there and done that in small business. They've owned their own businesses, they've grown them successfully, and now they're giving back to other business owners. And we've had tremendous success with existing business owners, matching them up with a SCORE counselor who often has direct experience in that same industry that small business is in, to help them with their growth plans, or to just act as a sounding board. you as an existing business owner know that you sometimes get so wrapped up in the operation of your own business that you never get that objective feedback.
Can't see the forest through the trees. Yes,
right.
absolutely.
And some of those programs, like the SCORE program or the Small Business Development Center program, are great for existing businesses that, even if they're not ready to grow right now, just want some feedback as to how they're doing, or what they might want to do in terms of strategic decision making.
Folks, I want to thank Dave Miller from Enterprise Bank for joining us on today's Kensington Financials Dollars and Cents. We've got to take a short break to show you a couple of messages from some of our friends, but we'll be right back, so stay right there.
Hi, I'm Ross Walker of the Ross Walker Funeral Home in New Kensington.
And I'm Lisa Walker. My brother and I are proud to carry on the tradition of caring for families as our father did before us.
Our reputation of dealing fairly and providing funerals for all faiths and nationalities dates back generations.
We believe our service is second to none. Call us at need or pre-need.
Visit our modern facilities. There's plenty of parking and we're conveniently located.
Our communities are a great place to live, work, and raise a family, and we're proud to offer Kensington Financials Dollars and Cents as a free resource to our friends and neighbors interested in learning how to improve their financial outlook. In order to make the show a reality, however, we need the support of our local business community. We think it's a great advertising opportunity. This show reaches more than 78,000 households each week. People will see it, and the cost is less than you might expect. For more information on how you can take advantage of advertising opportunities on Kensington Financials Dollars and Cents, please give us a call, 724-334-1950 today. The advertising is affordable and it will go a long way to enabling us to continue to provide quality programming. Please consider joining our family of supporters as we work to make this project a success.
Thank you for allowing us to come into your home for another edition of Kensington Financials Dollars and Cents. Special thanks to today's guest, David Miller from Enterprise Bank, for spending some time and talking with us about the Small Business Administration and what you need to know to start up a new business or to continue funding for your existing business. It's been great being here at the Holiday Inn in downtown Johnstown, and I need to thank the staff here, especially my brother Sam Phillips, for allowing us to come in and shoot at this lovely facility. A special get well wish to my co-host Amy Tattern. Amy, get over that flu real quick. This is too much work for me to do by myself. As always, if you should have any questions about any of the subjects we discussed here today, the Small Business Administration, how to prepare a business plan, or some of the things that you need to know before you get into something like that, we hope that you'll drop us an email at questions@kensingtonfinancial.com, give us a call at 724-334-1950, or visit us at 2664 Leechburg Road in Lower Borough. A special invitation to anyone who's watching the show right now. Please stop in and join us for a cup of coffee. We always have a warm pot on. Thanks again, and have a great evening. Can I do it the whole way from the beginning? Then there's my question right there. Okay. If you should feel the need to get additional information about, we're about to go up the inclined plane and throw Amy out on the way up.
Welcome to Harrigan's Cafe. Screwed that up already. Try it again. Welcome to Harrigan's Cafe and Wine Deck.
Ready?
I didn't know this was moving.
Did you think you and I were going to stay down there?
I thought a car was coming down.
Here,
we were
okay, you
on.
ready? Okay. General Show Promo 1A. And what am I saying? What's my purpose here, by the way? I don't have to say anything. Stay right where you're at. We'll take this commercial.